Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, the Profit Protection Playbook. I am Lexi, Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Uplisting, and I am really excited to be joined today by Melissa, Marketing and Partnerships Manager at Alertify. So, welcome, Melissa. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for having me on, Lexi. I'm so excited to talk about our topic today.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be a really good one. So, over the next 30 minutes or so, Melissa and I will be taking you through how to stop high risk bookings before they happen, how guest screening tools not only protect your property, but also can boost profitability and the guest experience with upsells, real time monitoring, and how to intervene when necessary, and finally, how to use data to resolve disputes after the fact. So we'll be saving some time at the end for some Q&A, so feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A as we go along the presentation. And you're also going to want to stay tuned until the very end for some special offer codes that we have for both products, which we'll be announcing live. So make sure you stick around for that, and let's get into it. All right, part one, stopping high risk bookings before they happen. The best incident is really the one that never happens. So, at the beginning of this presentation, we're going to focus on how you can use both of our platforms together to dramatically reduce high risk bookings by 70%. Setting guest expectations early is key to preventing high risk bookings. Uplisting allows you to use powerful automated messaging and triggers that can handle all parts of your guest messaging workflow, including sending a welcome message immediately after a guest books. Outside of giving guests a very warm welcome and letting them know you're available to meet all of their needs, your welcome message should include two critical things. The first being that you should provide your house rules and your quiet hours and ask that your guests review them. This helps set their expectations early and can help weed out anybody who doesn't agree to your house rules or quiet hours. Second, if your house includes smart monitoring devices, which we'll get to in a minute here with Alertify, be sure to include an explicit monitoring disclaimer in both your house rules and the booking confirmation. So that way, when a guest books and confirms their stay, they acknowledge that they are staying in a smart monitored environment. So this is a pretty simple setup that can help you set clear expectations from the very first click, deterring guests who are looking to throw a party before they even get to the next step of guest screening.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you about Welcome Link, which is Alertify's guest screening portal available on the dashboard. And if you look at the slide, you'll see the guest view on the phone and the host view on the laptop. And on the guest side, you'll see that they receive a clean branded welcome message that walks them through the entire step-by-step process. And in this example, you'll see that they get a welcome message with clear instructions, the requirement for ID and passport document upload, as well as having them agree to the house rules and also signing the guest agreement. And this entire process is intuitive, mobile friendly, and typically takes the guests around 2 to 3 minutes to complete. And then on the host's end, you'll see the Welcome Link dashboard on the laptop. And on the dashboard, you'll see a list of reservations with their completion status. You'll also be able to see available downloads, which include a PDF summary of the reservation, ID verification summaries, and a signed guest agreement. And you'll also be able to see the verification status, so you can see at a glance who's been approved, who's declined, and who hasn't completed their screening yet. So when a guest completes their portal, you'll get an instant notification and you can review the information in seconds on the dashboard. You can download everything as a PDF and you're ready to go. And if something does look off, like if their ID doesn't match or they refuse to sign your guest agreement, you do have the documentation you need to cancel the booking before they ever arrive. So with Welcome Link, you're not just waiting for problems, you're actively preventing them.
Yeah, and the great thing about this partnership between Uplisting and Alertify is that when it comes to guest screening, you actually have a choice in which tools and which pricing model works best for you. So, as Melissa mentioned, guest screening tools on both platforms consist of ID verifications. You can also set up automated security deposits. Hosts can require guests to digitally sign the rental agreement. as part of the pre-arrival process. And you can also offer a catalog of add-ons like early check-in, late checkout, a personalized welcome basket, and so much more, which we'll get to upsells in a minute here. But an important thing to note here is that in order for the guest screening process to happen automatically, you'll need a subscription to Uplisting, as our automated guest messaging feature is actually what handles that automation for you, sending the links to your guests without you really having to lift a finger. So you can see the difference here on the right of the screen between the pricing models. Uplisting guest screening features are on a per use or per property model, with the exception of e-signature rental agreements and upsells, which are included with all uplisting subscriptions. And Alertify, on the other hand, has a flat fee model that includes an Alertify monitoring device and a welcome link subscription with these same guest screening tools. So, all of this is to say that high risk guests who are often unwilling to provide their government ID or digitally sign your house rules will often cancel the booking at this stage, saving you the hassle. And critically, this also gives you really powerful legal benefits, as you now have irrefutable proof of who booked the property along with their acknowledgement of your rules. So, this documentation is pretty invaluable if you ever need to file an insurance claim or handle a chargeback. There we go. Part two. So, what if we told you that those same guest screening tools not only protect your property from bad bookings, but can also increase your revenue and improve the guest experience? Well, and some great news, both Uplisting and Alertify provide these features as well. So, let's get into the details. Uplisting upsells feature is available on your direct booking websites. As part of our base subscription, we provide all customers with a no-code direct booking website builder, which allows hosts to take commission-free bookings. So that means you get to keep all of the OTA fees that they charge you in your pocket. So you can use your upsells on your direct booking site by visiting upsells in the left-hand navigation of the uplisting platform. And from there, you can view your catalog of upsells and create new ones, and even give them custom images and branding to match your site. So the key takeaway here is that direct booking sites and upsells are huge unlocks to both the guest experience and your bottom line. So now I'm going to pass it off to Melissa to talk a little bit about Alertify's upsell features and then get into the real advantages of Alertify's products. So take it away.
Okay, thank you, Lexi. So now we'll be talking about one of my favorite features of Welcome Link, which is automated upsells. And if you look at the phone on the screen, you'll see how this works in practice. So when a guest completes their Welcome Link screening portal, they're actually presented with upsell options right there on the same flow. So in this example, you can see a security deposit for $200, parking at $5 per night, and airport transfer offered for free as a value add. And so these are just some examples of pricing options you can set. So you can decide if you want to do an incremental charge or if you want to do a flat rate. It's really just up to you. And to get started, you simply have to connect your Stripe account to Welcome Link, enable the upsell feature, and customize what you want to offer, whether that is early check-in, late checkout, parking, whatever makes sense for your property. And our data shows that hosts can increase revenue by up to 10% on each stay by just offering these conveniences. And the best thing is that guests really appreciate this. They're not being upsold junk, they're being offered genuine value that makes their stay easier and more comfortable. And this brings me to my next point. This directly impacts your reviews. When you deliver extras that guests genuinely want, like flexible check-in times, they remember this. And this translates into 5-star reviews and repeat bookings. And the best part is that it's completely automated. So you can set it up once and it runs on every booking without you lifting a finger. Okay, now we're getting into the real power of Alertify, 24/7 property monitoring without you having to lift a finger or be on site. Okay, so let's start with the 6 core features. So the first is definitely noise monitoring, which tracks live noise decibel levels in real time. And once noise reaches above that set threshold, you will receive an instant notification. And we also have smoking detection, which detects cigarette smoke, vaping, marijuana smoke, and as soon as smoking is detected, you will be notified, and you can also set up to 2 follow-up messages. We also have our newest feature, tamper detection, which helps to monitor guests tampering with the device or covering the device when they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, like smoking or making a loud noise or partying. And we also have occupancy and party monitoring, which will notify you when there's a large spike in occupancy in a very short period of time in your unit. And lastly, we have temperature and humidity detection, which really just helps to monitor for mold risk in your unit, as well as any HVAC issues. So you can monitor when temperature goes outside of your preferred ranges. And if you are noticing this happening more commonly, you can get ahead of any HVAC issues in that unit. And then beyond these core features, Alertify also offers guest alerts. So this is our auto resolve feature, which I will go into more detail soon. But the way it works is that when noise or smoking is detected, your guest will receive an automated message on your behalf. And we also have our guest verification and upsells feature with welcome link. We also have, as I mentioned, real-time alerts. So when any sort of violation is taking place in your unit, you will be notified on SMS and email, but you can also set custom webhooks for your workspace. So you can get notifications sent directly to your workspace in Slack or Teams, and your whole team can be notified of any violations taking place. And every device is privacy compliant. So we don't have any cameras or audio recording technology. We simply just track environmental data. And so what this means for you is simple. You can manage 1 property or 50 properties with the same level of oversight. You're not guessing, you're not hoping, you're informed and in control no matter where you are. Okay, so this is where Uplisting and Alertify really shine together. So as mentioned before, Alertify has a guest alerts feature, which sends an automated alert to the guest on your behalf when noise or smoking activity is detected in the unit. So this feature can only be accessed when connected to a PMS like Uplisting. And with the integration, Uplisting will provide Alertify with the booking details. And when the Alertify device detects a violation, like when noise levels exceed your property, you will get a notification instantly on your phone showing the type of violation, whether this is noise or smoking, the duration of the violation, and the property name and unit. So if you've enabled the auto resolve feature, Alertify will automatically send a polite automated message to the guest, something like, "Hi there, we've detected an elevated noise levels at the property. Please remember our quiet hours and thank you for being considerate of the neighbors." And if the guest ignores this warning and the noise continues, the system escalates this and notifies you directly. So at that point, you can decide whether you want to reach out personally, whether you want to send a stronger message, or dispatch someone to the property. And we've seen this workflow resolve 9 out of 10 noise events before a neighbor ever complains. With guest alerts, you're protecting your ratings, your relationship with neighbors, and your sanity. And because Uplisting provides the booking details, every alert includes the guest name, check-in and check-out dates, as well as the guest info, contact information. So there's no digging through spreadsheets. Everything is right there. Okay, so just to dive in a little bit more into detail about the automated guest messaging feature. So when you set up the Uplisting and Alertify integration, you get full control over how this works. So like I mentioned, you can access this feature through integrating with Uplisting. You can also automatically message guests when noise or smoking is detected. And you can customize your message and up to 2 follow-ups. So you can write these messages in your own voice. You can decide if you want to have the first message as gentle, the second is firmer, and the third is more of a stern final warning to the guest. And you can schedule this to only work at night. So you can set quiet hours so that guests aren't just getting messages during the day when reasonable noise is expected. So what this really comes down to is taking yourself out of the firefighting business. So instead of waking up to angry neighbor texts or scrambling to handle noise complaints in the middle of the night, You have a system that handles the first line of defense for you. And that's a shift from reactive to proactive. You're protecting your property, your reputation, and your time through smart automation that works around the clock.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. So now we're going to talk a little bit about post-incident recovery and show you how you can use both uplisting and Alertify together to win every dispute after the fact. So, Uplisting's role in post incident recovery is really your administrative command center for resolving disputes, as it provides all of the guest and booking data to Alertify. So, you can pull custom booking reports from the platform, providing details like who booked, their check in and departure dates, financial records, number of guests, and so much more. And you also have access to your entire timestamped communication history with the guest to serve as irrefutable proof that you set the rules and attempted to resolve any issues. Mhm.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about what happens when automation sometimes is not enough. So if you look at the reports on the screen, you'll see some examples of what Alertify's incident reports look like. And basically, when a violation occurs, Alertify will auto-generate these reports. And these incident reports include information like the location details with the property address and a map, the guest information, and this information we pull directly from the uplisting integration, violation report details. So the type of violation, so in this example, noise, and then the start time, end time, and the duration of the violation. And we also include some visual data so you can see exactly when the violation occurred and how severe it was. And these reports are timestamped and exportable as PDFs. So that means you can download them and submit them directly to OTAs like Airbnb, directly to insurance providers, to Stripe for chargeback disputes, and also directly to the guest if you're implementing your own fining system. And we consider this hard evidence because it's completely objective. You're not relying on your word against the guest's word. You have indisputable data, which includes things like smoking detection levels, exact incident and end times, check-in and check-out dates, and verified guest details from uplisting. So when you present this to Airbnb or an insurance company, there's really just no room for debate. The data will speak for itself. And remember, when you combine this with the documentation from Welcome Link, such as the signed rental agreement, the ID verification, the acknowledged house rules, you have a complete evidence package and you're not scrambling after the fact. You're prepared from day one when the guest checks in. This is how you protect your profits and recover losses when things go wrong.
Awesome. Well, this marks the end of our presentation today. But before you go, we are really excited to announce some exclusive limited time offers on both the Uplisting and Alertify products as a thank you for joining us today. So for Alertify customers, we are very excited to offer you 30% off your first 3 months of uplisting when you use code Alertify30 at checkout. It is a limited time 14-day offer expiring December 5th of this year. Uplisting is normally $100 a month for up to 5 listings. And we also do provide a risk-free 14-day free trial. So you'll have 14 days to trial the platform and subscribe to secure the discount.
Okay, awesome. And uplisting customers can simply use code uplistingfriends at checkout to get a nice 33% discount off of Alertify devices, plus welcome link free for 1 year. Alertify Pro devices usually retail for $180 per year, but you can get it for $120 on your first year. And that includes welcome link free for a year.
Awesome. Yeah, this is great. Thank you. So now we have some questions. We have some time for questions. I don't see any in the Q&A though. Maybe we'll give it another 30 seconds or so and see if anyone has any burning questions. Hmm. All right. I'm not seeing any come through, so I think we can call it. Thank you so much, Melissa, and thank you everyone for your time today. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.